Welcome to the Easy Peasy Life podcast. I'm your host, Poppy Lee, and this is the space for midlife women who are tired of feeling overwhelmed and ready for life to feel lighter, calmer, and more joyful again. Each week, we'll talk about simple habits, mindset resets, and easy tools that help you feel more in control, one small step at a time. If you're ready for peace, clarity, and your comeback season, you're in the right place. Let's make life, well, easy peasy. Welcome to my morning podcast. Good morning to the Easy Peasy Life podcast. I'm super excited to have you on here today. Welcome. For those of y'all who don't know, I'm a motivational podcast that comes on Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to pump you up and get you going. And I hope you have the most amazing day ever. For those of y'all who don't know, I am in a little public town called Dripping Springs outside of West Austin. If you continue west, you're going to hit Johnson City. If you continue west further, you're going to hit Fredericksburg, Texas, the home of over 200 wineries and breweries in the local area. And if you're a fellow wine drinker like I am, cheers to wine and cheers to good coffee. Let's take a deep breath. Let's get this day started. Happy Throwback Thursday, guys. I'm so excited to have you all on here today. Good morning and welcome back to the Easy Peasy Life podcast. I am #Poppy Lee and I'm so excited to have you on here today. Before we jump in, I want to start with something that I say straight from my heart. So my motto of the day is each day you have a choice whether to be happy or sad. It's up to you to find the positivity in life, and I hope that I inspire you every single day to do that when you start off your day. If you know someone who could benefit from listening, please share this podcast so we can brighten up their day as well. So welcome. And because intention matters, I always want to remind you of why I show up for you here. My mission statement is I will empower women in their midlife to recognize their inner and outer beauty, fostering personal growth and self-confidence every single day of your life. So welcome. This podcast is your safe place, a place for every woman who's been carrying too much, feeling too much, juggling too much, and still somehow shows up for everyone around her. A place for laughter, aha moments, real talk, and those little resets that might make life feel just a little bit lighter. We stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And girl, today's episode is a good one. Today, we're going to be talking about midlife isn't a crisis. It is your comeback season. So it's not a crisis, girls. It is definitely your comeback season. I love taking deep breaths. Sometimes my husband is like, are you okay? Because sometimes I take in a deep breath of a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Y'all want to do it with me? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for a second and breathe out 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it is so good to do that. It relaxes your insides and it gets you ready for the rest of your day. Did I ever tell you in the morning a couple of things that I do to get my day started? And while I talk to you a little bit about that, I'm going to share to my Easy Peasy Facebook page and share to my other pages as well. So, in the morning when I get up, once I get out of bed, I drink a whole glass of water. I don't know if y'all know this, but it is really important for you I know you know it's important for you to drink water, but it's important for you to rehydrate yourself. So for those of y'all who don't know, at night, your body gets severely dehydrated. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because everything pulls downward. I'm not sure. And I know you kind of know this because how many of you raise your hand in the comments? If for some reason you just happen to have to go to the restroom in the middle of the night, especially midlife, you know, our bladder is not like it used to be for whatever reason. I don't always have to do this, but sometimes I have to, I just have to go to the restroom in the middle of the night. Sometimes we wake up and we're like, oh, I hate to pee in the middle of the night, right? Sometimes we have to. And so it's important for you to wake up in the morning and have a glass of water because if you drink coffee during the day, if you drink any kind of caffeine during the day, if you drink an alcoholic beverage in the evening, you have to pick up the slack for those. So if I drink coffee, that's a glass of water. If I drink wine in the evening, that's a glass of water. If I drink caffeine during the day, any type of tea or sodas or anything, that's maybe more glasses of water. So right there, just to keep my body out of a state of dehydration, I have to drink 4 glasses of water just to stay normal. You always want your body, especially at our age, to have hydration because our bodies tend to not be hydrated at our age, right? We tend to get a little bit more wrinkles. We tend to not drink as much water as we're supposed to. So it's really, really important for you to drink water. So in the morning when I get up, I drink a glass of water. I brush my teeth, wash my face, take a shower, whatever I have to do. And then I make up my bed because you always want to start off on the right foot, right? And I've talked to you a little bit about this before, how it's just super important for you to start off your day right. And in order for you to do that, we have to do something where we feel accomplished. And during the time when I'm brushing my teeth, this is another thing I do. During the time when I am brushing my teeth and when I go to make up my bed as well, I am listening to, her name is Jess. If y'all ever get a chance to listen to her, she's amazing. Listen to her very first episode podcast. And she does daily affirmations. It's called Empowered Affirmations by Jess on Spotify. And I turn her on. I listen to her first 2, and it's only like about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes at the most. The first one she has on is really, it's really, really good. The second one is really good too, but it has to do with finances. So the first one, set yourself up for success for the day. Plus you're making up your bed. So those are 2 things that I do that's really, really important in the mornings. And if you're not sure, go back to what I just said and watch the repeat. And I forgot to also tell y'all, so drop a 1 in the comments if you're coming to me live, like now you're watching, drop a 1 in the comments. Drop a 2 in the comments if you're coming to me on the replay so I know how many of you are watching later on. And also let me know where you're tuning in from, whether it's McAllen, Harlingen, Brownsville, California, Colorado, Connecticut, New York, Chicago, wherever you're tuning in from, or across the globe. Let me know where you're tuning in from and drop it in the comments, please. But let's go ahead and get started. So this episode 6, and y'all, I had my other podcast. If y'all have ever seen it or you haven't, it was called Morning Meeting with Mom. The reason why I don't do it anymore is because my mom recently passed away. So I felt like that chapter was kind of over and I needed to start something new. We had over 450 podcasts, and we do have a Morning Meeting with Mom Facebook page. But you can also catch it on my personal Facebook page. You can go to different social medias and find them as well. But anyway, let's move on. So this one's called Midlife Isn't a Crisis. It's your comeback season. I really feel it's important for us to be able to take deep breaths as we're going into my podcast. So let's take a deep breath for 4 seconds in. Hold it for a second, 6 seconds out. Okay. So take a deep breath. Let's dive into episode 6. So the first thing I like to go through is quote of the day. So quote of the day says, "You're not too old. You're just finally growing into the woman you were meant to be." You're not too old. You're just finally growing into the woman you were meant to be. So isn't that the truth? That's the truth. We're all changing, especially in midlife, but we're growing into the person that we're meant to be. Because midlife isn't a crisis. Even though people love to call it that, like a midlife crisis, they love to call it that. Midlife is actually when the fog starts to lift, when clarity hits, and when you stop caring about what doesn't matter and start paying attention to what does. Let me give you another one that fits today perfectly. So here's another example of another quote. "A strong woman looks a challenge in the eye and gives it a wink." So a strong woman in midlife looks at a challenge in the eye and gives it a wink, right? Because we're not scared of you. In midlife, you have so many different experiences in your life from up until this point that you're like, bring it on, baby, bring it on. I can handle you. That's what midlife energy is. We may be tired, but we're very powerful as midlife women. We may be hormonal, but we're very wise, or we're wiser. We may have moments where we question everything, but deep down, this is the season that we rise. So let me tell you a story. The moment I realized midlife wasn't a crisis, it was a wake-up call for me. So a few months ago, I had this morning, the kind where you look in the mirror, right? So I'm looking in the mirror and you don't recognize the woman that's staring back. Not in a dramatic way, just in a way that, hold on, when did I get this tired? Where did my motivation go? Why do I feel all over the place? Why am I crying over dog videos or cat videos, right? The ones that you see on TV where they're advertising for the ASPCA. Y'all, those just kill me in midlife. Why does my patience disappear at 11 a.m.? Why? Do you know that feeling? Raise your hand in the comments if you're like, I know that feeling, Poppy. I know that feeling. I remember looking at myself and saying, I don't feel like the woman that I used to be. But then something inside me said, good. You're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be the woman that you used to be. Midlife isn't about trying to get back to who you were. It's about stepping into who you're becoming. And girl, that hit me. That hit me hard. I was like, what? This is not who I used to be anymore. This is who I'm becoming. This is who I am becoming to be more of me, the stronger me, the wiser me, the faster me, the I know who I am me. I'm waking up to my comeback season, not gently, not politely, like this is me, like something that smacked me in the face, not a breakdown. It was a breakthrough. And a lot of y'all, and I'm here to tell you that this is your breakthrough season, not your breakdown season, not your I'm going to kick you down, you don't have any goals season. This is the new you. This is the new evolved you. So why does midlife feel like a crisis, y'all? Even though it isn't. Why does it feel like a crisis? Let's be real. Midlife can feel like a crisis because so much shifts at once. You're going through so much in your life right now. Your I can't say that. Your hormones change. Your identity changes. Your roles shift. Your kids grow up. You're empty nesters maybe. Things are changing within you. You're changing. Maybe you don't have to have a large house like you did before. So you're downsizing. You're close to retirement mode if you're not already there. Your parents age. Your energy dips. And your tolerance for nonsense disappears overnight. Because one thing that I've learned lately is when I want to say something now, I'm going to say it. And some people may not feel like this is you anymore. And that's okay. Don't let it make you feel like you're less validated or you're less strong or you're empowered. empowered. It's really important for you to realize in this stage of your life that it's okay for you to be changing. You're wiser. You make better decisions, but better decisions for you, for the person that you want to be. A better person for you means a better person for everyone else. If you've evolved and you become better, you're going to be a better mother and aunt and daughter and granddaughter and stuff. That's what you're going to be. So the wiser you get, the less you let people take advantage of you and the more you stick up for yourself. So you start wanting more peace more than praise. Like I don't need people patting me on the back and saying, hey, you're doing a good job. I want more peace in my life. I want to hang around with people who are going to bring me up, not put me down. We are the 5 people that we hang around with in the world. So really, really evaluate that. Who are your 5 people in your tribe? Are they supporting you? They're jealous of you? Or they're making you feel bad about yourself? Why are you changing all of a sudden? Because I'm sticking up for myself, because I feel like this is going to be my happy phase of my life. You're wanting more purpose than approval. You want more authenticity than pretending. You're going to be more of your authentic self, your purposeful self. You want more ease instead of chaos in your life. Midlife feels like falling apart, but it's actually you falling into alignment with the woman you were always meant to become. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed the older that you get, the more allergic that you are to the drama, the more less likely that you want somebody calls and says, hey, did you know somebody was doing something? You know, what I usually tell myself and tell others is, you don't know what they're going through in their life. You know, think of, and I used to say this in my other podcast, but when somebody is having a bad day and you see that they're having a bad day, think of your worst day that you've had in your life. A day that you were like really angry or really upset or really crying or really sad. The reason why I tell you, when you see somebody that maybe you go to the store and they don't open up the door for you, right? Say somebody's ahead of you and they open the door, but they don't open the door for you, and you have to open it. And sometimes you're like, or the past you was like, golly, you know, that was kind of rude or whatever. You know, I tend in my life, especially now in midlife, I tend to give people a lot of grace. And the reason why I do that, and what grace means is you're going to let things fall off your shoulder. You're not going to let things bother you as much. Why? Because your worst day could be their day today. If you knew what they had in their morning and their lunchtime and their afternoon, and then you see them in their late afternoon and they are just miserable and you can tell it in their face, give them some grace, because you don't know what kind of day they had. Your worst day could be their day today. So let it roll off your shoulder.
If you're ready for simple ChatGPT prompts that make life easier, grab my free guide at easypeasyprompts.com/busywomensguide. It only takes a minute, and it's made for busy women who want quick wins and less overwhelm.
So you're allergic to the drama now. Somebody calls, you need to tell them, hey, and you need to spread that kindness. Just like I tell you, spread kindness and love and peace and everything. Try to discourage people from doing something that they're maybe going to regret later. So if they call you and they want to talk about gossip or chismes, what we call in Spanish, chismes, just say, hey, maybe they're having a bad day. Of course, they're going to be like, fine, Poppy, and they're going to call the next person that wants to talk about the chismes. But you know what? That's on them. It's okay. That's on them. So are you allergic to the drama in midlife? The fake relationships, right? The doing things you don't want to do? That's not crisis. That's you awakening. Like you're empowering yourself. You don't want to deal with the drama. You don't want to deal with the fake relationships. You don't want to deal with things you don't want to do. Why? Because you realize you're getting older and your quality of life is more important now. The time that you spend with family and with friends that are meaningful friends and everything, those are quality times, and you tend to appreciate them the older you get. So let's talk a little bit about the midlife shift, or let's talk about the midlife shit too. I almost said it, so why not say it? Because I don't care. I'm in midlife. There's something hilariously magical about this season. For example, one day you're everybody's therapist, listening, comforting, absorbing their emotions, and the next day you're like, girl, talk to Jesus. I'm off duty, right? You're like, it's not my time to talk to you and be your therapist. Go outside in nature and Jesus wants to hear all about it, right? One day you're meal prepping like Martha Stewart. You're making meal preps. Raise your hand if you've done that in the past. It's like when everybody did that on Sundays, they all got a whole bunch of chicken breasts and a whole bunch of fish and all kinds of stuff. And they always bought those things at HEB, those containers, right, with the black bottoms and the clear lid top so you can see what is on there. And you labeled Monday through Friday and you got all prepared. And the next you're staring at the chicken like, nope, I'm done. Let's call DoorDash, right? You're like, I don't want to do this meal prepping anymore. I appreciate my time on Sundays with my husband. I don't have time slaving over. which is why yesterday, guess what I did? I hit up Chat, which is known as Chat GPT, and I told Chat GPT everything that was in my fridge, not everything, but all the leftovers that I had like for Thanksgiving and things like that. And I went to my cabinet and I said, Chat GPT, will you please give me, and if you go to my stories, you can look at the final result. Amazing balls, amazing. It told me how to make, I'm not a cook, but I'm definitely not a crock pot cooker, right? So I had my nephew's girlfriend come over and she made crock pot taco stew / soup or whatever during Thanksgiving towards the end because everybody was like up to here for turkey. And it was amazing. And I was like, why don't I do more crock pot stuff? It's like nothing, right? But I still was like, Chat, how do I make a crock pot stuff with what I have in my freezer? Because I have like frozen corn bags. I had frozen sweet potatoes. I had all kinds of stuff. It had me do, like, it even said, it reminded me I was gluten free, which it normally does. But I told it I didn't want to go to the store because yesterday was kind of nasty weather. I didn't want to go to the store. So I told it everything. You can go and tell ChatGPT what you have in your fridge and say, can you make something for 1 or for 3 or for whatever? But it made the most amazing. I mean, our friend Roy came over and he was like, Poppy, this is like the best soup I've had in like months. I'm like, well, where else did you have a good soup? Because I'm going to put a challenge to it. I'm just kidding. Anyway, they loved it and I loved it. It was so hearty and it's perfect for like cold weather that we have now. It's like it's fixing to get ball frosting cold. It's fixing to get in the 40s. What's the weather like where you guys are at? Like here in Austin, outside of Austin, it's like 40 degrees. Where is it like where you guys are at? Whether you're in the valley or up north or wherever, I want to know what it's like where you guys are at. What is the temperature where you're at? Because no matter where you're at, this is always good weather for soup, right? Because it's winter or fall or whatever. I think it's already getting close to winter. But anyway, I had the most amazing soup. So go to my stories. I'm hoping it's still there. And look at my beautiful concoction that I made through ChatGPT and my crock pot. So I'm going to start. I told Rick the next thing I'm going to make is caldo marisco. My God. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT because do I know how to make it? No. So I'm going to go ahead and find out how. Anyway, so 1 minute you love your husband with all your heart. And the next minute you're side-eyeing him because he breathed too loud. And don't even get me started on walking into a room and forgetting why we're there. Like I did that 4 times yesterday. I think I need to stop saying that because the more I say it, the more I do it. And it's getting to be funny, not funny, right? And that's not aging. That's your brain trying to hold on to so many different things that it's thinking about, so many different tabs that are open, right? Midlife isn't a crisis. It's just what multitasking is. You always want to blame it on midlife. But there are times in the past, and I'm not going to lie, that I did walk into a room and forget things. And I wasn't in midlife. I was probably in my 30s, right? So the truth is, midlife is your reinvention season. Here's the part I want you to really hear. Midlife is the first time many women actually stop and ask, what do I want? This is the first time. Why? Because a lot of us are empty nesters. A lot of us just have our husbands or wives. And a lot of us are just at the season where we're like, okay, my kids are probably they're either in college or they have jobs. Some of them already have families and stuff. And so we're like, what do I want? Not what your kids want, your partner wants, not what your job wants, what your family expects. You, your joy, your peace, your purpose, your goals, your desires, all those things. You need to think about what you want because it's important. Midlife is when you stop living by default and you start living by design and you start creating the life that you're happy to live. Does that feel true for you? I don't know. Does it? Are you feeling that shift inside of you lately to where you're like, this is me. This is my new me. That nudge that says, I am meant for more. It's important. So let me tell you a little bit what Chat or ChatGPT, how it supports you and how it can support your comeback. Let me bring you into this special practical because your comeback season needs support emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and everyday support. You can't do, although I said, this is you, it's all about you. You can't do everything, even for you, by yourself. And that's where ChatGPT comes into place. Not to do everything for you, but to make your life and everything in it just a little bit easier. Sometimes your comeback season begins with simple things like, how do I get a little bit organized? How do I calm my mind? How do I simplify my routines? How do I meal plan like I did yesterday without crying because I don't know what to make? How do I create boundaries for myself? Because those are the hardest things to do. And how do I write something? If you want to write a memoir or you want to write a biography, how do I do that without going crazy in my mind? And it will help you with all that. Chat will help you with all that. I'll never forget when I typed something simple like, help me create a morning routine that supports a midlife woman entering her comeback season. The response I had was amazing. And I was talking to Rick about that yesterday. ChatGPT now, because I've talked to it so much over the past, literally 2 years, it knows a lot about me. And I was talking to Rick. I teach ChatGPT, but yet my husband was like, I don't even have the app on my phone. I'm like, it's kind of like when you build pools. If you're a contractor that builds pools, you're probably the last person that has a pool, right? Or your pool looks like crap and it's dirty because you have time for everybody else except for yourself. So, hey, in your comeback season, if you own a pool company, build a freaking pool because you're doing everything for you, right? So I'm not giving you the whole prompt and everything that I did. You need to go to my easypeasyprompts.com and get my free guide. That's what you can do. And trust me, that guide will make a huge difference for you. Or you can go to my Easy Peasy Prompts Facebook page or to my different Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I'm also on YouTube also. And it's free, so you can go on and get it. So how to step into your comeback season. Let's do a little bit about that. So how do you actually step into this new powerful season of your life? You start by letting go of the idea that you're supposed to handle everything by yourself. You stop pretending nothing bothers you, and you stop minimizing your needs. You stop apologizing for wanting a life that feels good to you. So stop apologizing for a good life for you because you deserve it. You begin prioritizing rest without guilt. So you take naps in the afternoon. I started to do that kind of lately. Rick has done that for a long time. He takes afternoon naps. His naps are like 15, 20 minutes at the most. I'm like, wow. The problem is with my nap, he has to wake me up. And then you're kind of groggy, right? Sometimes when you take naps in the afternoon, I take a nap that's like an hour long and I'm like, I don't want to do that because then I'm groggy for the rest of the day. So you start choosing yourself without even over-explaining yourself. You begin simplifying your expectations instead of overwhelming yourself. You simplify the expectations that you have of yourself. You give yourself permission to want more, not in a selfish way, but in a healthy, grown woman way. Your comeback begins the moment you stop rushing, stop shrinking yourself, and stop surviving. Your comeback begins when you decide, I deserve better, but I am creating the better that I deserve. So let me give you a tip of the week. Okay? And this is going to be it. So your easy peasy tip of the week is this. Do one thing every day that makes your future you say thank you. Do one thing every day this week that your future self says thank you. Not something huge, something little. We don't want to overwhelm ourselves, right? We want to just make simple, easy changes. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe 10 minutes of quiet for yourself during the day. Maybe it's finally starting your morning routine. Like I told you, get up out of bed, turn on Jess from Empowered Affirmations on Spotify and listen to her first motivational podcast. Do that for yourself. Maybe it's finally starting meal prepping with one meal. Maybe it's a crock pot meal that you look up on ChatGPT. Maybe it's just you surprise your husband or your wife and you make a meal in the afternoon. It's setting one boundary, or maybe it's drinking your water. Remember I told you you have to drink 4 glasses of water a day just to stay afloat. If you drink coffee, tea, another soda, and then you drink wine in the afternoon. That's 4 glasses of water you already have to drink. Maybe you just decide to do that every day. Drink more water. Maybe it's using one of the ChatGPT prompts or going to ChatGPT and starting an account, right? It's free. Small steps create big comebacks. I think I'm it for the day. I think that's it. And I'm so excited. So thank you for spending time with me today. If this episode made you feel understood, encouraged, and ready for your next chapter of your life, please share it with another midlife woman or man who needs a reminder of his or her own strength. Make sure you follow me elsewhere on Facebook, on my Easy Peasy Prompts Facebook page, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, because I'm showing up for you to help you simplify your days, lift your mental load, and rediscover your joy. And don't forget to grab your free guide at easypeasyprompts.com, because girl, your comeback season deserves all the support it can get. I love you and I'm cheering for you. I'll see you next Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Let's go.
Thank you for listening to the Easy Peasy Life podcast. If today's episode encouraged you, make sure to follow and subscribe so you never miss one. Don't forget to grab your free guide at easypeasyprompts.com/busywomen's-guide. It's perfect for busy women who want life to feel easier. And join me live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'll see you on the next episode. Let's go.